Because for me, I've never been. Obviously, when you've got that mindset of just hustling, and I don't mean like in that way, but I'm just in terms of making things happen. The only thing you require from other people is loyalty, because you're dependent on yourself for everything. Because you're holding yourself accountable, I feel like when people get into partnerships and this and that, the only reason why you do that is because you can shift blame, whereas when things go wrong for yourself, there's no one to blame apart from you, and that's where, but
that mirror, that man in the mirror,
and I feel like that was 2020 was that mirror of,
wow,
oh well, yeah, you're just a bit of an idiot, aren't you? Or you didn't do that right, or because there is no work colleague to blame. You're on furlough, or you're working from home. Who is there to blame? Or like if you're trying to figure something out and it doesn't go according to plan. I feel last year was just a massive, massive mirror, and people were able to break that mirror, kind of reconstruct it, know that no, this isn't what I want out of life. I've been working how long doing what I'm doing, but I don't even enjoy it. It's not even a passion. And there's so many. I look on Twitter, and I see so many people. Oh, I've just been sacked. Oh, I got made redundant. Oh, but I've landed my dream job, and I get so empowered by seeing things like that, because would that have happened if the whole economy world didn't come to a halt as quick as it did? Because I don't think anyone was like seeing this.
A couple of people were like, there's something is due to a couple of the investors that I've been talking to. They were like, something's coming because the market's been going up too much for too long. But nobody, not a single person saw it coming the way that it came.
And how long.
And how long, how quickly it fell, how, like, just everything. It was just like, everything, it was like, everything's great, bam. Now it's not.
And it was detrimental. Like, it wasn't even a hit, I feel like the credit crunch was a little prick.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that hurt.
There weren't lives. There wasn't lives lost with it.
Like, yeah, I think that's what it is as well. I think it's just a really emotional, fragile topic. I think everyone right now around the topic is becoming very sour about it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's again, it comes down to blame. People are blaming the government that they didn't do it right from the jump. But then for me, it's they only done what they thought was the minimum requirement to do, because they're not going to go full throttle on us, because we're not really a country that
moves like that.
We're like, well, what are you doing?
And they probably thought that people might go along with the rules and listen a little bit more.
And I think people did on the first lockdown.
Yeah.
But now it comes to the second lockdown, it was like, oh, okay, this is a bit annoying. Now you're coming to the third one, people are like, right, you can miss me with this. Don't. But now we're in the most serious part, because I'm actually...
The cases are through the roof now.
Yeah. And it's not, you get some people that are saying, oh yeah, the numbers are made up and da-da-da-da, and you're going to get that, It's a bit like haters with success. There's always going to be a problem. 100%. There's always going to be one. But I know people, obviously, that work in, like funeral parlours, I think they're called. And they're saying, no, the amount of cases that are coming through with COVID since the third lockdown has started is more than 1 and 2 put together. And I feel like now this strain or whatever has come about, now the government are a bit like, okay, what do we do?
Yeah, because now no one's listening.
Yeah, because we could have done this, we can't go back in time, but now it's actually getting out of control.
Yeah.
And how much more can we offer? What are we going to have to implement? Because now we are on our third lockdown. You can't just keep putting signs everywhere saying stay at home. That's not
Gonna
you
work.
know. No, and you know, it's just a bit crazy, really. I think this is really gonna. Well, I've seen it affect mental health a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel
Even people don't even realize it's their mental health that's been affected, but it is.
yeah, listen, I'm the first one to say mine was because I'm so used to being independent, going kind of like coming out of my comfort zone. You know, like traveling. That's my business is not in an office, so I'm on a hunt for opportunities and stuff. For me to be just stuck at home, I'm like, oh my gosh,
It's
you know.
different.
Even with obviously my daughter's about to turn 2 in a couple of months, so I'm a bit like, what do I do? You know. And I think everyone's coming to that point, and I think for me, it's everyone's got to really think where is their head at, and how can you sustain your mental health. I think forget the money.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather be broke with my mental health intact
Whew.
than have all the money in the world and I'm going crazy. You know, like I want to kill everyone, I don't want to talk to anyone, I'm looking myself in the room and all of that, you know, because I'm seeing it. Like I look on social media and that's another thing, you know, like you're looking on social media, lockdown, and then you're seeing people living their best lives out in Dubai.
Boy.
Right? And you're like, oh my gosh, when am I going to have another holiday? Yeah. You know, and it's scary. It is really scary. And I just really, really hope that anyone who is listening to this, if you're not okay, it's perfectly okay to feel like that. But just reach out to someone.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
Even if it's someone you don't know. Even if it's me. Like, I don't even care if I don't know you. I'm more than happy to, you know, just listen to, because I've been at that place, which
yeah, we'll get on to.
You know,
this is going to be a very well, boy, listeners.
Yeah.
Make sure you actually that's a perfect point to cut for a break, because the next part we're going to start going into Bella's journey and story. One of the most amazing life stories and turnaround stories and true definitions of adversity and overcoming obstacles that are presented to you. Just incredible story. So we're going to take the break there, and we look forward to having you in part 2. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Where's Your Head At? We've got none other than Isabella Wisdom on the show. And now is the perfect time to kick off talking about Isabella's journey. So we were talking about money. Obviously, I know the listeners don't know that you had an experience being around a lot of money at a young age. And when I was young, I was around a bit of money, but nowhere near the scale that you was around. And I saw the impacts that money make on yourself, your ego, the people around you, and just everything. So I'd love you to touch on that and share with the listeners a little bit about your journey and your story.
Yeah, so I think it all started when I was 18. So from a young age, I think family-wise, and obviously this was just a little bit before my time, but my family was pretty okay. And I think it came kind of when I was super, super young. That was basically kind of virtually just kind of stripped from us, you know. And it was a case of my mum had to just basically rebuild everything for us. I think as you grow older and you start to become more vigilant, you start to understand, okay, well, why can't I have this? Why can't I have that? But when you're a child, it's very much, you don't understand. And I was a person that used to just bottle everything, but question myself, and I could never find the answers. So for me, it was a case of, right, I wanted to go to, at the time, I saw a lot of money being generated in commodities. It was at a time where a lot of people was doing fine wines, diamond broking, and they're cashing out on 200, anything between 200, 300 grand a month, right? And I'm talking big cars. You just see no average people from average backgrounds like myself, pulling up in Ferraris, pulling up in these, like, pulling up to their big houses and stuff like that. And as a young female, it's number one, why am I only seeing men? And number two, well, if you can do it, I can. And I think that really stuck with me, and that's where that hustle came from, because it's like those were the two driving forces for me. Is I'm not seeing enough women. I'm seeing a lot of women that have wealthy partners, but you're not building your own wealth or money or whatever. You're just asking for it, you know, which isn't a bad thing. You know, I don't want people to think, oh yeah, because if you're at home with the kids, that's a job and a half in itself, right? And I can tell you that from first-hand experience. But I feel, so after that, I was like, right, I was meant to go to university to study international business management and do a year out in the States.
Oh, wow.
And it just got to maybe a few weeks before, I said to my mum, yeah, I don't think this is for me.
Wow.
But I was going to be that first person that goes to uni in the family. So it was that bit of a disappointment in terms of why, you know. And in my head, my thing was, because I'm about to go and make this money. That was, and this is why I say to everyone, if money's a driving force, you are going to hit a big fat wall, and you don't know when it's coming, but I promise you it's coming. And because there's no purpose or passion behind it, you can't break down that wall. You're going to be stuck at that wall. So I then decided to research into trading, and I landed my first job at a place called 1-2-Trade, which was a binary options platform. And that was where I started to be surrounded by money, you know, because on average we were doing a revenue of anything between 250k to 500, probably pushing even more a week revenue. And we used to get paid a certain percentage on deposits and trading activity and so on and so forth.